pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs.
What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and tonight we're going to be talking about the fires. We're also going to be talking about some news that I don't really want to be talking about. We'll be right back right after this.
Pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs.
Well, what is going on, guys? My name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know this is a live call-in show. The number is 224-400-MARF, and of course, you will be pressing option 4 to get through to the show. I want to first let you also know that nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Now that that's out of the way, if you are not getting notifications, which a lot of folks don't, especially with the new system, we're actually going to have to set up a new system with the live system with the YouTube events. You can actually go to our website and sign up for our push notifications. If you are not depending on one of these platforms, you can actually depend on ours. Again, go to marfooglenews.com and click that red bell. Then you'll get a push notification to your phone. Again, iOS, it still is not there yet. It's coming soon. And as well, you can sign up for our email alerts. If we know something is going to happen without a shadow of a doubt, we would let you know through that system. And we are also having big creators write their own articles through that alert system. You recently got one from Brian from High Impact, of course, talking about his current situation. Absolutely heartbreaking. So again, if you missed that, by the way, it is now available on the regular website as a thumbnail. You'll see his logo there. Very easy to see, hard to miss. And just so you know, everything we say here today, all of the articles that we're going to show you, all of the tweets, all of the videos are going to be available on our bibliography on our website. If you go, in fact, you would have to refresh, unlike me, you'll see that it is going to be right here. In fact, I don't see it there. Hold on. Sorry about that. Normally, it's in this top left corner. And when you click that, it's actually going to go to every single piece, So we'll take last night's show, for instance. I don't know if maybe my cache is stuck or something, but again, you can actually see that it has every single article, every single tweet. And then at the end, this is last night's show, for example, you'll have all of the callers. So if someone called in live, their channel, their video, the documents that they submitted will all be right there. And then on the right side, if you do want to support independent news, you can actually go over here and see any of the products that you will see here today, including the very popular EMP Shield. All right, without that out of the way, let's get Dex introduced and do a sound check. Dex is going to be co-hosting. He's also going to be screening calls, letting people know what's up. And then as well, he'll be updating the website as we go live. So that will actually have the most current information. Dex, are you there, and can we do a sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam. And yeah, I just cleared the cache too on our end, so hopefully the website won't give you any more problems.
Okay. And again, it's probably something I did. I'm not a tech guy, so again, it's not showing up, but that's okay. It still says the 2020. It just keeps getting better. But again, it should be this way on your end. If it's not, it will be fixed by the end of the show, I'm sure. Dex will be frantically trying to fix it if it is broken, but I'm sure it's just on my end. Again, over here, that's where that alert went out. Now it is available for the general public. You can go and click that if you want to read the article wrote by Brian. All right, thank you already. There's a lot of people in here, and tonight it will not disappoint. As far as the stuff that we are seeing, it did not disappoint us. Some nights, it's actually, sometimes it's hard. The news cycle is not fun. Tonight is not exactly fun, but it is not exactly, it's not exactly plain. Let's just say that. This is some big stuff happening. So we'll get right into it without further ado. I'll be saying what's up to the chat. Thank you. I already saw somebody over on DLive dropped a Ninjagini. I think that was Chazzer152. let's get the party started. All right, so U.S. Navy is planning massive unmanned fleet battle war games for 2021. We've covered all of the robot battles that have been going on, and of course, just the other week, we covered a story where they had a real pilot go up, in fact, one of the best pilots they have in the Air Force, go up against an AI pilot. And we're talking about the same program that would run an actual plane that would be an unmanned UAV. And he lost several times. In fact, I don't think he ever won a dogfight with this AI enemy. We also covered just last night or the night before, we covered that article written completely by AI. And if you read it, it looks like it's somebody with kind of a sense of humor, sarcastic, which is really, really creepy. As far as unmanned fleet battle, a lot of this is going to have AI technology, which over the past 3 years, I've covered every single piece of the puzzle kind of putting together. And now I've told you for 3 years, the next conflict will be bonkers. China, Russia, and all of the main superpowers, including India, have these AI robot, battle robots. You're talking about not the stuff that you see on YouTube on, the DARPA dog and things like this. You've got much more advanced stuff. We have active and retired military in the group right now, and they will tell you, especially some of the active ones watching from base, they will tell you there's stuff that they can't even talk about. Again, there's a lot of it. It says the U.S. Navy is looking to hold massive war games in the Pacific next year that will focus primarily on using air, surface, and subsurface drones. On Tuesday, Rear Admiral Robert Gaucher, director of maritime headquarters with the U.S. Pacific Fleet, said that the Navy was planning, quote, an unmanned fleet battle program. I think it meant program, to test just how much the service can rely on unmanned vehicles to perform a mission. Now, we're talking about some of the most advanced UAVs and AI-driven battle technology you have ever seen in your life. I mean, we're talking about things that are straight out of, 10 years ago in Call of Duty games that were, totally fantastic and way over the top and thought, oh, this is, sci-fi. Now these things are now real. We've covered several of them. I mean, things that just blow your mind, things that can be tracked, that can go 150 miles just by hand launch and hit a very specific target inside a home. We're talking about something that can wait until a door opens and go inside and then go kablooey. Crazy stuff. They even have drones that can hover after they've traveled, a few hundred miles, hover and then spot their target with AI and face recognition. They're trying to reduce, of course, civilian, obviously casualties. So a lot of crazy stuff going on. What do you think that these games are for? Why do you think that they're doing this? Obviously, they are getting these unmanned groups up, and I feel like they've been preparing for years to actually go to conflict. Now, a lot of people push back on this and say, whatever, this is just my opinion. Again, I have seen, all of the countries, all of the money drive into a future conflict. Of course, I covered almost 2 years ago, Theresa May, I believe it was, and the European defense minister saying that they were taking all of their money out of the T cells and those guys that would, randomly go kaboom in the train. They took all of the money from that and they were putting it towards Russia. They said that quote in one of their speeches, which I played for you guys. So I knew 2 years ago, and so did all of you, that they at least were publicly putting their money from one thing to another and saying that these are our main enemies. Some of you might be saying, yeah, this is a distraction and they're really working together behind the scenes. That very well may be, but is that going to change anything to the public eye? Probably not. In fact, there's probably a group above all of these people, above prime ministers, above royalty, above presidents, that have all of the money in the world, the top 1%, we're talking 0.01%, that are controlling all of this, and they'll control and fund both sides. We've seen it in history, and now history is repeating itself. In fact, just today I saw a tweet. I'm going to show you. I won't say it. It was actually about Germany in the 1930s. In fact, 1933, they defunded a certain group of people before they started a huge set of, I guess, RIOTs. Pretty crazy stuff that it's so similar to what is going on today. Now we have the Chinese fighter jets buzz Taiwan for a second day as tensions rise. We've covered India. We've covered all of these other countries. Of course, India is, they say, most likely to start any kind of conflict with China in the recent days. In fact, in the last 5 days, every single day, there has been a big story that most of the MSM in America and even Australia, and I've been told Europe, is not covering as much as they should be, as what is really going on the India-China border. They are shipping troops, they're shipping tanks, they're doing all of this. Of course, the public thing that got out was this battle that happened between unarmed soldiers, apparently. It was on a cliffside in the Himalayas, I believe. And some of these soldiers perished. At least 20, I believe, on the India side. They had no number for China's side because China didn't report it. But you're talking about guys fist fighting and throwing each other off of cliffs. That's pretty crazy. And it was the worst shed that they had in the last, I think, 4 decades. So it was a big deal, and they did take it seriously. And now we are seeing kind of some of the repercussions. Are they going to pull it back? I sure hope so. But of course, we're going to be watching this. And then you've got Taiwan, which I covered last year, that there was a lot of stuff. And just to kind of fill you in, America sold Taiwan some of the most advanced jets in the world, and China was not happy about that. There's been a lot of back and forth and people pissed off that they're getting a lot of our technology. They are, of course, getting some of our slightly older technology, which is super awesome technology for their standards. And again, China and Taiwan have not been doing well lately. It says Chinese fighter jets approached Taiwan on Thursday for a second day in a row, the island's defense ministry said, urging China to, quote, stop destroying regional peace in a further ratcheting up of tensions across the sensitive Taiwan Strait. Now, that Taiwan Strait is an extremely important part of water there. And, of course, you would say, if you kind of look at what they've been doing, is I think they eventually want control over it. It says China, which claims Taiwan as its own territory, has held numerous military exercises up and down its coast and near the island in recent weeks. It says the defense ministry said Su-30 fighters and Y-8 transport aircrafts were among the Chinese aircraft that entered Taiwan's air identification zone to its southwest on Thursday morning. So it does say that Taiwan ended up scrambling aircraft to intercept the Chinese planes, and the ministry added, saying it was quickly able to track the, quote, enemy's movement. So we see a lot of these stories, and of course it's no means for panic, but it's also something that we don't forget, that I don't forget personally. I keep track of this. I keep track of all of the close interceptions. Russia is usually in the news almost every other day with these kind of, ace flying by. And we don't know the real story, too. It could be us screwing with them or them screwing with us. It all depends on how the MSM actually reports it, right? So we actually don't know most of the time what actually happens. And then we have Rai warns U.S. to keep away from Persian Gulf military drills. So if you can't put some of this together, it's very obvious that the allies and the enemies are clearly drilling like crazy. It is nonstop drills, and it is, a lot of this is done in secret. So when, like, say Russia does a very public drill, make sure that its entire country knows about the drills. That could be called saber rattling. They're basically shaking their stick and saying we're tough and this and that. We do the same kind of things all over the world. As far as this goes, some of the secret drills that go about and get exposed, those are the ones that I think more about, because This isn't for a publicity thing. This isn't to saber rattle. This is more so something that they are actually preparing for a conflict. Now, I don't know exactly about this one, but again, these are the ones that we're seeing all over the world. It says Rai Yan said it had warned U.S. aircraft to keep away from military drills it's holding over 3 days in a large maritime region reaching from the Persian Gulf to the northern Indian Ocean. Military spokesman Commodore Shaham Arani said foreign manned and unmanned aircraft had been cautioned on Wednesday to avoid exercises taking place over 2 million square kilometers of ocean. State-run Republic News Agency reported. It says the area lies to the east of the Strait of Hormuz, a major choke point for oil shipments. All of these straits are huge tactical advantages to have control over. They are something that many people have predicted. If something did pop off, these would be the first places to try to get control of if you had any kind of battle with anybody, because this is where you can actually get supplies, get oil, get all of these things through. And if you control that, you would have you would hold a ton of power. So it is a huge deal that this is happening right now. And, Dex, again, you guys can call in at 224-400-MARF. It looks like we already have some callers lined up. First, I want to say Kicking Saturday. Thank you. I have not seen your name before, so welcome. Teresa TLC, thank you as well. Little Red KS, MRSA 1, Pox Party. You've been here for a long time. Gem reading the gospel. Unicorn Forest, Greatest is Love. All Foogle fam that have been here for a very long time. I know Dano, thank you for coming back. Angela 4110, Luna Soul, all regulars. Saved by Grace, Christina V, Tuck Pup, Happy Fam, much love y'all. Stay safe. And then we've got Rick Missouri, haven't seen you in a minute. Bumpity, Veteran Steve, of course. Again, very special Foogle fam here. And then we've got Shy the Coffee and Conniption Fit. Thank you guys all for ice creams, lemons, anything that you're doing over on the DLive platform. And then we've got Rita LaFleur, Fan Q. What is going on over on YouTube? Crabpot Sally. We've got Ben Gunn, Jake DeWitt. And, of course, Shy the Coffee, and then Oz Durden, Lisa Renee, Lamp in Deep Waters. Thank you guys for coming up. Ryan Droofy, or Ryan DeRofi, I think I said that wrong. Love you, my brother, from another mother. Well, thank you so much for your support. And then Shinzilla, thank you for support as well. You can always write something there, a soliloquy, a lilloquy, or whatever. DB Rocks, thank you for following. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. And Jordan James Music, thank you for following. CJ, thank you for following. Looks like CJ Blaze, you're going to have another CJ here. Walter Jabowski, thank you for subscribing. Matthew 19905, thank you for subscribing. Yahandra and Body, welcome to the family. And Michael Bartow, thank you and welcome to the fam. I missed you, Dr. Ace Harden, last night. I appreciate your support. Thank you, Adam and Dex, for the real-time news. We all need to be prepared and stay woke. Blessings to the Foogle fam. This is way better than MSM. Only that woke word, I don't even like that word anymore because how it's used now. Crazy stuff. If you guys want to support us in a different way, you guys, I would highly recommend. We do have a kind of a small announcement about this. So as you guys all know, EMP Shield is not only working for the consumers now, they are working under contract to help protect the U.S. government. They've worked with DHS, they've worked with DOD. They're now officially a part of the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. We started with them before a lot of that happened. Of course, President signed the bill to harden our grid after realizing DHS sent out that resilience report saying that basically every American should have 6 months to a year of food. After he saw that and the threats that were there, he signed an order to harden our entire grid. Of course, we were not well off at that point. EMP Shield was brought in and several other companies. EMP Shield actually makes a product that can protect against all three phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3. The announcement, though, is that they are now, it's kicking in with the contracts. They are so considerate, and if you've ever talked to Andrew or anybody with their staff, they are just letting people know. They've always been above and beyond as far as shipping out next day. They are so busy right now. They have so much stuff going on with, all of their customers that they just wanted to let people know it may be 5 days to get an EMP Shield. So they're the only company I know that will reach out to you when something like that happens. I've worked with many affiliates, and they don't normally say that. They'll just do it and then let people, they'll let people know when they order. They are actually considerate enough to let people know, because there are so many people that get one now and one later and this and that, and people are used to 1 day shipping. So they are just letting us know they are very, very busy right now, and it might take anywhere from 3 to 5 days to get one. Again, marfooglenews.com/EMP. They are still doing consumer stuff. It's 100% American made. They're adding American jobs, and it's a veteran-owned business. Again, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP if you would like to check it out. You can see all the information on Keystone testing, military grade, everything's there. All right, with that being said, we've basically shown you why too. So if you don't know, ask somebody that has already purchased them. All right, and then we're going to go to our first caller, and then we are going to be covering the U.S. National Hurricane Center is tracking 7 systems in the Atlantic. Some of them may turn out to be duds. Some of them may turn out to be another Laura. Hopefully not. Again, Dex, thank you for screening. It looks like I can't see the call, so if you can introduce the next caller.
Certainly, Adam. So first up, we have Twisted Luck Truth, and we'll get Twisted Luck on the line here.
Okay, so I'm actually really excited. Twisted Luck Truth got a video that I'm sure if mainstream media got a hold of that video, I don't know if they've asked Twisted Luck Truth, but right after a Florida power plant fire yesterday, he was actually close enough to get video footage. So I hope we are going to be able to show that footage here today. Twisted Luck Truth, are you there? And what's going on?
Hey, I think I'm in. How you doing, Adam?
Hey, so crazy footage yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Man, yeah, it was last night, real early this morning, late last night. This was insane. I mean, just when I think this has just been a crazy year all the way around, but even things personally I've been seeing. Just when I think I've seen the craziest, creepiest thing, this happens. Yeah, I was inside the house. This was around, I might have had the time wrong in my video, whatever I said, but it was around 1 a.m. here in Florida, Eastern time. And I heard what sounded like maybe on the street behind me, like a house near me somewhere. It sounded like someone started up a loud Harley or something and just held the throttle open. And I heard it for a couple minutes, and then I was kind of doing what I was doing. I was thinking, this is crazy. Who's doing that? But then it sounded more like a turbine engine, like a jet engine. And the best way to describe it, it sounded like there was a jet very low hovering over the neighborhood. And so I came outside to figure out what it was. And I was looking around, then between the trees I see to the west, the sky is just glowing as if the sun is rising from the west. And it's like strobing, like a slow strobe. And this jet engine sound is just solid, loud, solid, not going away. So I walked down the road a little bit to get a better view, and I had no idea what I was seeing. It was bigger than me. Obviously, this is something, out of our control, which is, I kind of learned a lesson out of this. I talk about it all the time, and you've talked about it. A big part of preparing is mentally preparing, and which I do. And, I try to push that, but that was, for me, it was kind of a lesson, almost like a dry run, because I had no idea what this was, unlike anything I've ever seen before. I don't know if this is go time. I don't know, just no clue, panic starts to set in.
Now,
but anyway, I tried to,
let me interject here. So what you were looking at, I'm going to play the audio. It's only 42 seconds, and then I'll go back to your YouTube video that shows your channel. But this is what you posted, and you can hear Twisted Luck Truth in the background. I'm gonna play your audio.
It's coming from the, So I don't know what this is right now. I got somebody standing on a rooftop trying to figure out what this is. It's coming from the direction of a power plant. If that's the case, it's not good.
right over Interstate 4. I am. It's a power plant that's in DeBerry, Florida is the one we're talking about. From the rooftop, he's saying it looks like that's where it's coming from, which that is not good if that's the case.
Now, again, I ended up tweeting out more. I saw videos instantly from other places, and in fact, people were using parts of your clip. People trying to report this around the world, like this Zania Mamba Ali, was using your clips. Other people, in fact, I saw. I saw one checkmark actually use photos that were shared from that video. So I don't know if the news got a hold of you, but it was crazy footage.
They have not. Yeah, they haven't. But I have seen it. I saw a tweet from some news channel I've never heard of with my video in it. It apparently went all over the place last night.
And it was Sanford, correct?
It was. Yeah, it ended up being Stanford, so it's it was right over the border, right over the line, so it's very close to where we thought it was. And what they're saying today, that there's another crazy twist to this. When I was first going, I called somebody. It was coming from west of me, and I know somebody between me and where it was coming from that's at work at a building, and I figured for sure he knows what's going on, or, sees something. So I called him, he answered, and I said, "Hey, what the hell is going on?" He said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "You don't see this in the sky and you don't hear this?" He said, "Oh, do you see what I saw?" And I said, "I don't know. What did you see?" So I'm going to shorten it up a little bit so we can get the show on. He had seen, we talked about this a little bit later to get the timeline right. He saw something different, but the timeline, when he saw this, ended up being right before this started. So he's saying that he saw a super bright green beam of light that he described like a very bright meteor. He said, but it was very low. It was below the cloud level, but it wasn't coming down. It was going straight across. He said he saw it go by. He said almost like a laser. He said it went by. It was real quick, real bright, and then it just disappeared. And then he just went about his business after that. He Googled it a little bit and went inside and didn't know that shortly afterwards this was going on. And what they're saying today about this fire was that it was a natural gas line owned by Florida Utilities or something like that ruptured. They don't know why. They're saying possibly due to static electricity caused by a lightning strike. There was no lightning, no storms in the area. And him seeing that green beam of light and he's not the type of person that's always looking for stuff in the sky. I'm always watching the sky. He's just a go with the flow type of guy. And happened to see this, and wow, it was crazy. And he had no idea when he told me about that. He had no idea about this yet until he went outside and looked again, got on the roof for me. But so that I found, that's just too ironic. And they're saying this is caused by static electricity. There was no lightning in the area. What that green beam of light was, or whatever that was, and it was in the same area, same time, just before this. I would say the time he estimated that he saw it was 10 minutes before I first heard this explode.
So, Twisted Luck Truth, you also said that you heard what sounded like a jet. Now, again, you can't confirm much of this, but isn't it weird to you that all of these people across the country are saying their power is flickering? We showed you, NERC has told us that all of these things that happen to our power grid don't actually get reported. They get reported to Department of Energy, but then Department of Energy does not make those public. It ends up going over to the NERC. And we showed you proof of that in their own documentation. So it seems to me like even if this was for the safety of the public, they would, of course, not let us know if this was something that was done on purpose or if this was just another gas accident, which a lot of them have been happening lately.
Right. So many of those have been happening. And yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And actually tonight here, our power has been flickering for the past few hours. That's been going on here. But yeah, I don't think they would, obviously, you know, they're not going to tell us, just like what they usually do. I mean, they're not going to come right out and say, oh yeah, this terrible thing happened or whatever. They're going to tell us whatever. But that jet engine sound, that didn't go away. That lasted. I have some more video that I didn't put up yet. I'll probably put it up tomorrow. What I put up there, I wanted to get it out quick. I wanted to go live, and I actually tried, and then I forgot that now you have to be at 1,000 before you can go live. But I just wanted to get it up quick, so I threw raw video in there. But I have some more that I took an hour and 2 hours into it, and that jet engine sound stayed solid the entire time. It sounded, I mean, it just didn't change. It just the jet engine sound completely for as long as that fire went, you heard that sound. And where I am, where I first heard it, I'm probably 8 to 10 miles away from it. And I heard it in my house. You know, it brought me out 8 to 10 miles away, sounding like there was a jet hovering over my neighborhood. So it, you know, absolutely crazy. I mean, they're trying to say it like they usually do, you know, some simple explanation, but it's very strange, especially given this entire year and, you know, all the similar things that have been going on that you've talked about, you know, we've heard about like crazy. Similar type of things popping up all over the country.
Truth. We're going to send everybody we can over to your channel. Twisted Luck Truth, by the way, still needs to get to 1,000. He has now posted at least 2 or 3 videos that are just stupendous and called in on them. Twisted Luck Truth is, again, Twisted space Luck space Truth. His link will be on our website. Twisted, I want to thank you for calling in. And again, we'll share your video out as many places as possible.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. I appreciate it. And I just want to thank you. I appreciate this platform. This is a great platform. And Dex, too, and the whole Foogle fam. I mean, I see so many of them over on my channel, and they're all great. This is just an awesome platform, an awesome family. We all appreciate it. I know I definitely do.
Well, the more of you guys that have videos like this and come to us first, then the bigger we can get. So thank you. I appreciate you sending this to us.
Yeah, I got it tweeted to you like, before I even got it on my channel. I sent it to you. I was hoping, you know, you could see it and get it out. And if anybody knows about anything about that green beam of light or whatever that was, comment or whatever. I'd love to find out more about that.
All right. Well, it looks like our entire chat is filled with people that just said they subbed. So, hey, Twisted Luck Truth, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Again, we're going to refresh and actually check. We'll check at the end of the show because this is a second or third call. I think this might actually only be the second call, but we've had people call in with his videos. I hope we can get him to 1,000. 741. So he's 259 away. I'm sure that will happen by the next show, especially if he's posting stuff like this. Again, Twisted Luck has always been very polite, very awesome. On top of that, I want to show you, this is not a month ago. This is today. This was in Bay and of Root. And what's crazy is yesterday they had signs of life. I don't know how they had the signs of life. I need to, I didn't have time to research this before. But I do know that it was officially said that as late as yesterday, they believed they had signs of life at the kind of ground zero of this event. And then by yesterday or by today, there wasn't any again. And then this happened. So this is a brand new fire. And of course, I want to let you guys know, one thing that I heard that I thought was pretty interesting is, what if there was some sort of like safe room or some sort of room underneath or some sort of bunker under this place that they had set up? And what if people were down there and somebody was preventing them or starving them out or kind of keeping them in there? They were about to be found and then something else happened. Maybe somebody was like, well, the original person that they didn't want. And I'm not trying to say anything crazy. I'm just saying this is what I heard, and I thought that was an interesting thought. So, you know, they obviously they've tried to do this investigation of this, and everybody is still baffled by this. They have an official thing, official reason, And a lot of people just don't want it to add up. They just, they look at it and they go, this just doesn't make too much sense. This is another time in history where a blast was just far greater and far bigger than people thought that it was capable of. Again, you guys can be the judge for yourself, but I do think it was pretty nuts that another fire opens up here just after they found some sort of signs of life in that area. So that was the blast today, and then there was other blasts. Of course, CJ Blaze has been doing a really great job on Twitter. If you guys haven't followed at CJ Blaze, she is always posting a lot of really great stuff. Let me see if it pops up. CJ Blaze 4 or at CJ Blaze 4. So she's been posting really cool pictures, really cool channels. She actually just shared out J-Stones. So make sure to go check her out. She's actually really good at finding stuff. That's why she originally was picked as a mod almost 3 years ago. So make sure to go over and show her some love. Any of the mods, make sure to go show them some love. But again, CJ Blaze, thanks for spotting that and spotting several things. All right, let's see here. Lunasol, thank you. Red in the Valley, thank you. And then Candy and Southern Mind. Candy and Southern Mind. I don't know how to say your name, but thank you. Hey, fam from Indiana. Well, welcome. 933 subs. Come on, guys. So it looks like he might have already made it. Watch. I bet you we're already there. Let's see. Twisted Luck Truth. Did he make it to 1,000? I bet you by the end of the show he will. Let's see here. 948. He only needs 52 more subs. That is awesome. And somebody like him does deserve it. He's always a great caller. He's always a great Foogle fan member, and he's always super polite. All right, we're going to get back to the news. Tuck Pup, I appreciate you. J-Drive, I appreciate you too. J-Drive, thank you as well. Jimmy the Lip, Mama of 6, and Lady Green Eyes. It's nice to see you here, Jimmy the Lip. I love your, you are an awesome creator as well. The U.S. National Hurricane Center is tracking 7 systems in the Atlantic. Now, they said this last year, too. I believe it was 8 systems, and one of them ended up being very bad. So, obviously, the more that they're tracking doesn't necessarily mean a good thing. It says the meteorological peak of hurricane season is September 10th, today. And it sure looks like it in the Atlantic basins. The National Hurricane Center is tracking 7 systems, with the newest one added at 8 a.m. this morning. 2 of them are tropical storms, and one is poised to strike Bermuda. So if anyone's on vacation there, that's not going to be a fortunate time. It says the closest system to Florida is an area of low pressure a couple of 100 miles northeast of central Bahamas. Forecasters expect the system to cross the Bahamas and Florida over the weekend before re-emerging in the Gulf of Mexico. But they only give it a 30% chance of developing into anything stronger during that time. So, obviously, with 7 systems, we're going to be tracking it, and we will let you know if anything develops out of this situation. Flawless by Christ says he has over 1,000 now. That is freaking sweet. So, let's update this one more time. Very due is a congratulations. Guys, make sure to congratulate Twisted Luck Truth, 1.6 thousand subscribers. We just doubled the channel in just a few moments there. So he deserves it. Very, very kind man. All right. And then we've got the FBI warns of increasing extremist threats to the 2020 elections. The FBI is warning police nationwide to expect an increase in related threats. And yes, I have to go little Nicky style when I say these words. Because they're already popping people off left and right with pew pew pews and potentially violent attacks from DV extremists, according to a recent bulletin reviewed by Yahoo News. So what is this? This is MSM basically telling us things are going to get worse. And some would say, oh, well, this is just this, or this is control through fear, and probably all of the above. Check all of those boxes. But at the same time, when they put these little stories out, it's almost like they're telling you just up front, this is going to get worse. Just like they've talked about the second wave, which winter, right before this all happens, before everybody goes and puts that ballot in, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Look at every event that's happened so far. Look at some of the stuff now. Right away, right after Sturgis was done, Gone Girl, one of our most awesome Foogle fan members, she was at Sturgis and she said it was wild. It wasn't tame compared to any other year. It was normal. But now we're already seeing those huge articles about this saying that 250,000 people showed up and it's going to bring the second wave in. We don't know if that is going to be the case, but we do know that MSM is actually telling us that this is what's going to happen. A lot of these predictions are happening, and they tell us in 50 different things. In fact, I just saw Lisa Haven put together a really good collection of at least 15 different articles saying that we are expecting the second wave. And when they are saying that, they're basically mentally setting us up for this thing to happen. So with this, I would think that, we haven't had a Fantastic Freddy in a while, so I would keep your head on a swivel. It says the FBI document says that as of the beginning of August, the Bureau has observed these threatening the 2020 and events, including current candidates for president, presidential conventions, and counter-protesters at campaign rallies, as well as individuals committing arson or sending threatening packages targeting political party offices. Remember last year when we covered all those packages sent? Dex, do you remember that? Where the I believe it was an Asian gentleman who sent a bunch of packages to different places like the FBI headquarters, or maybe it was even CIA or NSA. And he ended up sending those packages and getting caught. He ended up getting arrested here in Washington. Do you remember that, Dex?
Yeah, it sounds familiar to me, Adam. I do recall that the packages go into the different agencies.
In that same couple weeks, there was a bunch of it, though. It wasn't just him. It was somebody else, and they were sending it through packages. I have just a prediction, and this is just off the top of my head. I feel like that kind of thing is going to rear its head in the next few months. Just something like that, as far as something through the mail or something to that matter. It just seems like that has happened, on a regular basis from a lot of different directions. So I hope it doesn't, of course. But when they are putting this kind of stuff out, it seems like they're kind of almost letting us know just little pieces of what they are worried about. So who knows what's actually going to happen. If you want to finish this article, you can at marfooglenews.com. Remember, you can actually go to the bibliography of all of our sources and check them and double check them. You can even take a second device and read along. And then we have, of course, 3 perished in California, bear fire, and 2 in Oregon as more than 200 major fires continue to burn. This has turned the sky red almost the entire West Coast, and now coming to Washington, where I am. In fact, there's a huge cloud seen from space. This thing is menacing as all hell. I actually tweeted a picture of it out. In fact, I sent it to you, Dex. Isn't that a scary looking cloud? I mean, it's the size of California coming my way, and it's about to bear down on us like no other. It's just super, super creepy. It says at least 7 people are perished, including a 12-year-old and his grandmother, as 200 wildfires continue to rage across California, Oregon, and Washington, after already decimating an area the same size as Connecticut. Strong winds and high temperatures fed a couple of hundred extreme wildfires across the United States on Wednesday, severely damaging at least 2 small towns in Oregon, where the governor declared an emergency for, quote, unprecedented blazes. Now, Rip Curl, one of our mods, actually took video from his backyards as it was beginning, and then that night, we talked to him 2 nights ago, and he was on level 2 evacuation, and they said basically have your stuff by the door because they had unpredictable wind patterns. So they didn't know which side it would go to, and whichever side it went to, you just had to walk out of your house and leave. I, of course, tweeted out a bunch of this stuff. I know that Mahalo or Majalia, I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to go to my Twitter, and you'll see that I posted this gentleman's photos and videos. He actually posted a bunch of stuff from this Oregon town. So it says Malala. I did not know how to say that. I apologize. Emergency alert. And of course, they offered a go now map. So they're not joking around. They're saying go now. And then down here, obviously, this is what it looks like. This is the cloud that's coming up to Washington. So if you're in Washington and you have not seen this, apparently this is heading our way. We've already had orange skies, and of course, you can see the smoke. It looks like there is a campfire no matter where you are in Washington. It looks like there's smoke in the air from a house nearby. And it's only going to get worse. This is worse than what it was a few years back when there was Eastern Washington fires and fires in California. At least then, Seattle and many of the surrounding areas were not, we had this huge cloud come in, but this time they're closer. In fact, Bonnie Lake was evacuated. You had fires on both sides of I-167. These are massive. It says, again, that, it shows here that this was a couple that ended up heading back to see their pets after leaving and evacuating. You can see from this picture that by Sergio Olmos, I mean, geez, look at that. Somebody ran their finger across that piano, just covered. So this is the kind of air quality that we are going to be dealing with. And of course, I would advise everyone to be safe out there and to not let your kids play outside or, any of this stuff. They're saying that it's so bad quality that even just a few minutes can be bad for your health. If you have asthma or any other kind of ailment, then please make sure to think appropriately for this. This I just thought was a great photo by this gentleman. This building that had MAGA and T-Man all over the place and just empty. The entire town is empty. And then it actually showed him getting booted out as a journalist and other people by militia. Militia saying, get the heck out of here. And they didn't use those friendly words, of course. So pretty good chance that Malala is also going to be eaten up by this fire. And that's very sad. So please pray for the firefighters that are heading towards the fire instead of away from it, like most residents. These guys are badasses and they deserve our praise. So again, those firefighters, please pray. And then, are you affected by these fires? If you have videos or pictures, please send them to Twitter. DM me at Marfoogle. My DMs are actually open. And then on top of that, you can either email Dex or myself. Dex is dex@marfooglenews.com or adam@marfooglenews.com. If you have a link, it helps if you put it on YouTube first and then send us the link. But again, that would be preferred. If you can post it on Twitter, that's even better. And tag at Marfoogle, at MARFOOGLE. We've got J Drive. Adam, when are you leaving the coast? So we are lucky enough to be off of the inundation zone. But again, we've got all of our family here, every piece that connects us. A lot of people have said that. And it's really hard with Cascadia and everything else that's going on. I'm at least here for the time being. It's but you know what? In my opinion, I don't think there's a safe place to go. I have actually, under my own opinion, I think that New Madrid has had action. I've talked with different people, and I've followed Dutch as well. I think that there's something big coming no matter where you are. But that's just my opinion. Artin Denkin, Heaven's Calling, Mama of 6, Unicorn, thank you. Yahandra Ambadi, thank you for subscribing. And then Patricia Johnson, thank you for pledging on Patreon during the show. Appreciate that. Liz Brower, yes, we did cover that 39-second video over on DLive. Insane that Dutch put out. It's already at 140,000 views or something. Only a 40-second video had such a huge impact. Speaking of impact, if you do not want to be impacted by cyber hackers, which are more active now than ever in history, I would highly advise getting a virtual private network. Nord is one of the top rated in the world. You should check them out. Again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. What it does is it hides your IP from the bad guys. No one can data log you, including governments like China, Russia, or even our own. And then, of course, you can use it on up to 6 devices. So if you want to put it on your kid's computer, your phone, whatever. I know that a lot of people just started school, including us. All online. Make sure to protect your kids' privacy and your own. Again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. We're going to get our next caller in, and then we're going to talk about Department of Homeland Security files rule proposing increasing the scope of biometric information. So looking at your fingerprints, your eyeballs, and everything else. All right, Dex, let's pull in our next caller. Again, J-Drive, thank you. Conniption Fit, thank you guys. Cascadia Living, grace for you too. Praying for all to be safe. And then Deep Dew. And that I was, of course, dew as in Mountain Dew. Conniption Fit said, that's great. Deep Dew. What is going on?
Marf, fam, it's Tuck Pup. How are you, sir?
Tuck Pup, good. So you want to talk about Elon Musk and Neurolink and EMPs. What's going on with this? Calling from Michigan.
Okay. So actually, I'm calling from Minnesota now. I'm living over in the Twin Cities area, and I just got back from Montana. But and I'll touch briefly on those two things too. That'll be the end of this. But I was just watching. Dex mentioned you guys reported on it. I was catching up. I drove 14 hours straight yesterday from Montana back to the cities. And so I caught up on your guys' last week because I've been in and out. But I was watching the Neurolink demonstration. And there was one thing that stuck out to me. I haven't even gotten, maybe a third of the way through it. And just to give you a timestamp, if anybody wants to go watch it, it's the entire live Neuralink demonstration where he's got the pigs, and it looked just about as good as when he demonstrated with the rock on his Tesla truck, because those pigs obviously didn't have a clue of what they were doing. But a timestamp about 25 minutes, they go to the Twitter questions, and this guy, Paul, starts talking about how the chip, and I'm going to just hack up at explaining this, but the chip is essentially, the way they developed the chip was to filter certain spikes of energy within the brain. And he continues to go on, and you knowing about music, he talks about how the chip acts as if to their hosting agent or to their computer acts as if it's a bandpass filter. So it filters certain information that's relayed from the neurons because they can only get so much information via Bluetooth. And what he says is they look for specific shapes that demonstrate, how the neurons are communicating and how they're reacting to each other. And then they ask again, can you explain what a spike is? And that's what he explains, that, it's how certain neurons are communicating with other neurons. So my thought behind it, and this is kind of a shot in the dark, is what if, they're reading these spikes of energy that come across as shapes, and being that it's a digital chip of sorts. And like this guy, Paul, says, they're filtering digital, communication waves between the brain and whatever computer it's reporting to. What if somehow, you could have essentially an EMP or some sort of cyber attack on these things, with enough research, they can generate shape ideas or some sort of ideology that can say, okay, we got a triangle. Now we can make everybody go AWOL. And so I thought it was really interesting. Just that little piece, and it's only about 2 minutes, and then all the other questions I watched them answer.
You're saying hack, so once this becomes a normal thing, which he says in some of his interviews that, down the line, this would be something normal, that this would be not only accepted, that everybody would, have Google built in and all of these things, and we would have Neuralink, and just anybody and everybody would have access to this technology in this dream world, right? And you're saying somebody either EMP or electromagnetic pulse in a certain pattern that would either, one, change the way we think, or two, hack. You mean like hacking Neuralink and making people do what they say? It's a very scary thought. Exactly. Well, and because of the way, I can't really explain it in detail because I don't really know what I'm talking about. I can just tell you what I thought. And with what he was saying is, obviously we can't
or they can't transfer the amount of information that the brain produces over Bluetooth in real time. So what they're doing is looking for specific bulks of those things. So like I said, say triangle is, say we link it to depression, and square is happiness, and then circle is absolutely insane. What are those things, and how can we trigger those things via the Neurolink? And then furthermore, you know, when it says it charges overnight, it's like, well, obviously we have to hook that thing up to something that's connected somewhere. So yeah, as being the new normal. And the one key word too that I took from it is this guy, Paul, he says, you know, we're essentially the way we used to research brains, and I'm paraphrasing, but he says essentially the way we used to research brains was offline. We would catch offline readings, and then we would go back and assess the information after the fact. And now what we're doing is we're assessing it online in real time. So,
and by the way, just to
like, all right,
just to explain what he's saying is they would measure the brain activity and then go back and physically ask the participants, hey, what were you thinking about at this time? They would videotape them. They would show them videos of what they were doing. They would have them do very specific tasks. I watched a film, and I actually read a book in high school that talked about how they would do this, and say they would have them play cards, very specific cards, like, you know, they would do solitaire, and they would be able to videotape it and then remind them. Just like reality TV show, when you see them kind of go off to the side and talk to them, it seems like, how are they pulling them into this room every 2 seconds? They don't. They actually talk to them after everything goes down, and they show them a clip of them, and then they actually say, well, this is what I was thinking at the time. And they talk like it's actually in real time going over to them, and they're saying, you know, I hate Susie Q, but really later on it's reminded to them what they're doing. Same thing with these results with these scientific tests, and they would say, oh, well, this is when I put this jack down. I was thinking about my mother. And then they would note down, you know, at this moment, this kind of electron went through, and he was thinking about his mother. And we saw this same electron 4 times. And then they would show him another clip, say, hey, were you thinking about your mother at this time? And they would say yes. And then they would be able to slowly put that together through it. Now, what Tuck Pup is saying is that they are actually looking at it live in real time, all of the stuff that's going on in our brain. Somebody said in chat, this is scary. This is the scariest thing ever. This is demonic, in my opinion.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that reality show comparison is perfect. Because, yeah, it's just, you hit the nail on the head, because you think about people that go in, for example, school bang bangs or something like that. And then say somebody happens to have a thought like that that's a normally sane individual, but they have a Neuralink in, and the next thing you know, we're channeling that thought. Well, we aren't, but somebody's channeling that thought into that person. And it brings up, you know, I actually streamed for the first time on DLive today, so that was cool. That went well. Shout out to MRSA One and who else was over there? I can't remember. It wasn't Chance, but a couple guys made sure that I was good over there, and then I posted a couple videos on YouTube, because I'd like to start assessing a couple things on my own, just to put it out there. And it brought up the topic of when you were talking about the robot article. You know, I think that software itself can't invoke harm against humanity unless it's programmed by humanity. You know, because there's a physical production that has to be done, at least where we stand currently, you know, in terms of production, because a human has to have a bad idea towards another human in order to program a robot to do it. That was my interpretation of it. But it's all a matter of who's behind these things, whether it's the Neuralink, the AI, which AI is mentioned when this guy Paul's explaining it. So I don't think that it's all AI taking over the world. I think that you get it in the wrong hands, and we start to get real touchy. I mean, it's just crazy, man. It goes back to the Alan Turing machine and the fact that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so again, do you now have a YouTube channel, and you said you are on DLive now, or is that incorrect?
Yep, No, I did a test stream on DLive, so it should be under the replay. I did that today under just Tuck Pup. My YouTube account should be Tukudika, Tukudika.
Yeah, put that in your
Thank you for the love.
Sorry about that. I don't like how DLive does that. They have to have the sound automatically going on. So I'm gonna make sure that we have your links and things. We are out of time, but we're gonna send as many people over to the DLive channel as possible. I already found it. There is no space. It's
Sure.
TUKPUP. He has 39 followers. That's how not even mentioned, and he's already got 39 followers on DLive, which is a lot harder on DLive if you don't stream or if you're not on that first page. So it looks like Chance Paladin, Channel Jammer, Mersa One are all we're all already in there. Shauna Imus, Serenity PA. So you guys make sure over on the DLive side, this is the same thing as a Love Mob. Lucky Strike 34 just followed. In fact, if you follow right now, I can shout you out. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go, Tuck Pup?
Yep, I got two, and they'll be quick. One, I lost. I was out in Montana because my boss passed away in a helicopter crash in Hood River, Oregon. He was flying a Type 1 K-Max. He was a aerial firefighter for multiple years, third generation in his family. So prayers to the Duffy family. And also, just on a positive note that's kind of scary, I saw when I got back into town this morning in the Twin Cities, I saw on the sign of a church, it said, "As we become used to less freedom, we find freedom in God," which I thought was pretty powerful on the sign of a church. So with that, much love to you guys, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. Looking forward to staying in touch and putting some of my own content out there, and hopefully I don't catch something scary that I got to post before I have to run somewhere.
Well, absolutely great call. Thank you, Tuck Pup, and you're always welcome here. Your Foogle fam, we actually just put it up. There is a ton of people following. The Bee, Geode Rocks, Mother Firefly, The Badger, MD Thomas, Just Jill, Delenzio, Lucky Ticky 2, Desert, Youper Girl, Casper Sparks, Kiki Gray, Callie Bud, all sorts of folks. So now you have a motivation to go over and create and become the next great creator. All right, thank you so much, and have a great night, Tuck Pup.
All right, guys. Peace and love.
Bye-bye. Tuck Pup, another gentleman, another awesome guy. Again, all of these folks just went over and followed. Midnight Warrior, Louisiana Skywatch, Tall Drink of Water, Veteran Steve. We've got Chazzer152 already followed. Look at that. These are my people. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I just love that everybody rolls where we just roll as a fam. Stalidi, thank you. All right, let's see here. The Badger says, yes, he is. Philly Pooh says, Geode rocks. Shoddy says, JV's the first fruits people will escape in the rapture. JV, it's the first fruits people will escape. Huh. And then, by the way, I was not able to access YouTube for a minute there, so I apologize if I missed anybody. But on the other side, it looks like Tamara Rodriguez. Anyone seen the C plan on kids staying over at school in an emergency? Lost their minds. So they would be staying in the school? I'm going to have to look this up. I'm going to have to look into this. Tamara Rodriguez, thank you for just letting me know about that. I want to see what you're talking about. And then Keith Sabrin says, the only way that we will stand is on our knees with lifted hands. God bless you, Adam, Dex, Mods, and Foogle fam. God bless America. Thank you. Ty Palomino says, sending love and prayers to all Foogle fam. Wind chill today in Amarillo, Texas was in the 30s. Tomorrow's high will be back in the 80s. Smoke is even bad here. Is that wild? Denver, Colorado, one day was 101. Just 2 days later, it was in the negative freezing temperatures, under 30s. And then you've got Texas, Amarillo, going from 30 to 80 in just a few days. What the heck is going on here? And then Tara Olivia, thank you for your support and your super sticker. Loyal Luke, Salem, Oregon smoke is getting thicker by the day. Salem to Portland was the worst it's been today. I have photos of every day. Callie, call on the rain gods. Loyal Luke, please send them to my Twitter. We would love to show them on the show. In fact, if you tag me right now, I'll pop it open. Tara Olivia, again, thank you for your support. I really do appreciate your super stickers. And then Backwoods Ingenuity, live free, travel light, work hard, and love Foogle fam, Adam, Dex, and mods. And then we've got Ryan Dorofi. Again, thank you so much for your support. All right, and then I am actually able to see your guys' chat now. We figured out a way to do it. Homesteading in the Heartland. Hey, thank you for the love mob last night, Foogle fam. Sorry for the rambling. I do that when I'm nervous. I tried calling in again to warn people not to go to movie theaters anymore. Jesus matters. Oh, homesteading, no worries. I had to explain myself too. Yeah, don't worry about it. Once you call in a few times, that goes away. I've had callers that are like, that wasn't even bad. I've had callers that are bad their first couple times, and then they're some of people's favorite callers. Again, I don't know why we don't think of it like that, but people think of it as calling into a radio show. And then every time I've called into a radio show, I always, you have this plan of what you're going to say. And then when you call in, it all just goes out the window, because then they call you up and you're like, oh, crap. We've got Super T-Man 2020, first-time caller. We'll be going to in just a few minutes. We're going to go back to the news because we've got some good ones. In fact, we have DHS files rule proposing increasing scope of biometric information collection. If you don't know what biometric means, that is your eyes, your pupils, your irises, I guess I should say, your fingerprints, and your DNA and things like this. I guess, is DNA actually part of that, Dex? Do you know? Is DNA part of the biometric system?
I think it absolutely would be considered part of it.
Biometric, bio is in like biology, your body, I'm not, just forget it. Just forget it. I was trying to sound smart. Too long? The Department of Homeland Security posted a proposed rule to the Federal Register Friday that would widen the scope of its biometric information collection program. The department originally announced the forthcoming rule Tuesday, but it did not file the text of the rule until Friday afternoon. One thing I see about that is that they always kind of slip this kind of stuff in, and they'll let it sit, or they'll do it on a Friday or something like this. Do you think it's an accident they did it on a Friday? They put it in Tuesday, but they didn't officially do it until the weekend, where everybody goes off and they have fun. And they probably did it, what was that? That wasn't Labor Day weekend, was it? A holiday weekend, they just throw in a rule that they file, and then nobody ever asks about it because they're too busy planning for a holiday.
That's a standard PR trick, Adam. I've done it many times in the business, and from a marketing perspective on the PR, absolutely anything bad goes out on a Friday. Anything good goes out on a Tuesday. And
you fire people on a Friday because they at least have their weekend. You don't fire somebody on a Monday. Normally, that's what I've always seen. So, yeah, that was on purpose. It says the rule, which is more than 300 pages long, proposes 6 major changes that would increase the amount of biometric information U.S. citizenship and immigration services, Custom and Border Protection, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement can collect. It says the proposal will be officially published in the Federal Register. No way. September 1/1. It's almost like it. Gosh, it's what is it? Almost 20 years, 19 years exactly, since a horrible event and the birth of course, a whole agency, and then of course the birth of the Patriot Act, all of that. It says the public comment on the rule will be open for 30 days after that. So people will be able to go and say, hey, I want to talk about this, but nothing's going to happen because of it. The rule proposes sweeping enhancements to the department's biometric information collection practices. So actually how they're doing it, they're going to add a whole lot more into this. It means that they are going to be adding all sorts of ways of doing it. It says it redefines the term biometric and makes 5 other recommendations, expanding the instances during which DHS can require collection of biometric information, as well as increasing the type of biometric information it can collect. So we're talking about, what if it didn't, include spit or DNA before? It may now. This is the kind of stuff we have to pay attention to. And this is what every American should know. But how many Americans or how many people in any country do you think know about these little rule changes? How many people do you think keep track of this on a daily basis? The Foogle fam does. It says, quote,
Adam, the answer to your question you're looking for is down in the, I don't know if you're going to get to it all because it's a long article. DHS wants to add. If you get to that paragraph, you've got the key things they're looking for.
So it says the purpose of this rule is to provide notice that every individual requesting a benefit before or encountered by DHS is subject to the biometrics requirement unless DHS waives or exempts it, the proposal reads. So let's see here.
It was only 2 paragraphs away.
I know. I was trying to find it. Okay, here we go. It says DHS wants to add the collection of palm prints, not fingerprints, out of the movies where you go beep beep and get let into a room, photographs for facial recognition, voice prints, iris images, and DNA for tests to determine genetic relationships to its pre-existing biometric practices, which include collecting fingerprints and signatures. So on top of your fingerprints and signatures, they're going to get your whole hand, they're going to get your irises, they're going to get your voice pattern, and they're going to get your face recognition. Oh, and, DNA, blood sample, everything. It's not an invasion of privacy or anything. It's not, because you're not a criminal, but hey, you're not going to commit a crime anyways, so you don't care. That's what most people say. Well, if only people that got to worry about that are doing something wrong. Well, what if your palm print accidentally somehow magically matches somebody else's, and it's a crazy 1 in a million chance, and now you're the fugitive, and they're making a TV series about you? I guess that's probably a far stretch, but you guys get what I mean. Public trust in this and other top health officials is evaporating, Poll finds. This is a big story for a lot of news agencies. They have been going over these findings over this new poll, because when they find something like this, it does add ammo for a lot of different people that are currently in politics. It says a new poll paints a bleak pictures of Americans' view towards the endemic. It says the poll from non-partisan Kaiser Family Foundation finds that the public's trust in and prevention and the U.S. top doctors like Anthony is rapidly dropping, particularly among the Republicans. It also finds that a sizable percentage of Americans still hold a number of incorrect beliefs about this. And it says that less than half of Americans surveyed would want to get V'd against the CV if a V was available before November. Less than half of Americans said that they want to get this luciferase technology tattooed onto their skin. I don't know why. I mean, it sounds like a great idea. It sounds like it's just top of the top creme de la creme of technology. And I've never heard about it, nowhere, including the Bible, ever. You can read the rest on marfooglenews.com. Operation Moonshot, $100 billion plan could see entire UK population tested for the CV in just a week. Holy moly. 10 million daily CV tests will be dished out to get Brits back to the footy, theater, and to their mate's house under new government plans costing $100 billion. The entire population of UK could be tested in a week under Downing Street's ambitious Operation Moonshot. Why would they call it that? Do you guys think that that's kind of weird? Moonshot? Okay, guys, I love this photo though. This is probably the best photo ever. Like, this guy is guaranteed getting crap from his mates. They're like, they had to use that photo. And I'm sure this is the photo that they're going to use. This is going to be the poster for, hey, get tested. It's fun. It looks like this looks like a scene out of an 80s horror movie, where they go into a cyber world or something. I can't remember what that movie was called. Flatliners or something. Like, it would have light around it. I can't remember the director. There's some crazy director that always does those super close-ins. Number of confirmed daily, of course, is just going, right? But anytime I see these kind of numbers, I just hear whale sounds. I don't think that last one counted, but I was trying to go for flipper and it just didn't flip. Boris Johnson vowed to roll out the new tests, which can deliver results in just 15 minutes. He said a negative result would give Brits a, quote, freedom pass. Holy moly. We are living in such a world. 2020, folks. Allowing people to mingle like they did before CV. So you could do the Dougal. Do the Dougal-Foogle. But this morning, Transport Secretary Grant Shapps admitted that the new tech wasn't ready yet. Okay, it's not a V, it's a tech. The new tech wasn't ready yet. Because I bet you they're going to add a little something to this, which is not just which, if you haven't looked, and again, it's hard to talk about this stuff at all, but it is a tattoo technology that they are looking at. It's actually called Lucifer Ace. It's all one word, Lucifer Ace. It's got Lucifer in the name. It's a bioluminescence technology that would be tattooed into your body and then absorb. And it could be read by a digital device. Gone Girl, what is going on? I don't know if you came in late, but thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your support. I was talking about you earlier because I know that you went to Sturgis, and you said it was much like any other normal year. As far as Sturgis, we instantly saw all of these articles saying that the Sturgis alone, because of so many people, 250,000 people, Sturgis was going to bring back the second wave, and that because of that, which I'm sure they probably did the tracking like they did that one time when Florida had all those peoples in the palm. Spring break. It was spring break, and a company that says it's anonymous took all of the cell phone signatures from I want to say Palm Beach area, and Dex, you can correct me if I was off on that. It it was in Florida and it was at a beach during spring break. Well, they took those cell phone signatures and they tracked them all over the country. And you saw this time lapse of spring break, and then they followed this survey, followed all of the cell phone signatures, and the time lapse of the map, seeing the path of everybody, really did open your eyes to say, like, even this big, they just took one little square. They hand selected the cell phone signatures on one part of that beach of thousands of people, and then followed, and it went all over the country and all over the world. Imagine 250,000 if this thing, was super bad, right? Imagine if they did that, then they could use that as evidence for new measures. So that's kind of what I am predicting in my own mind. I don't know what you guys think. J Drive says Lufres is what lightning bugs have. Weird. Really, I did not know that. So I wonder if they take it out of the lightning bugs, or if they can create it artificially, or if they take it from the sea. I think that it might be in sea animals as well. It says, I know a bunch. No one's sick anywhere I know, says Gone Girl 77. So she rides bikes, and she went to Sturgis, and there were thousands of people, and what I am hearing from most is that nobody was nobody was doing what they were supposed to. So again, they're going to use that. Of course, but you guys can hear it for yourself. Do your own research. Gem Tuck Pup, shout out to Katie, who started watching 2 days ago. Tuck Pup, that's awesome. Thank you again for calling in. Louisiana Louisiana Skywatch, thank you. I appreciate you. And then if you guys want to support us in a different way, again, if you don't want to be traced all over the place like these folks, or if you are somebody who likes going to places like Sturgis, and maybe you're just paranoid about somebody tracking your phone, well, there's a way around that. Just saying, and I'm not saying go against anything, but again, this is what agencies like FBI use for evidence bags, because no signals can go in and no signals can go out. So, especially if you are somebody who knows kind of the facts about the E911 chip and all these, it doesn't matter if your phone's off or whatever. Most phones can be triggered even by emergency services to find you, but they can also be used as geofence warrants as well. We showed you that just about a week ago, where they actually brought somebody in based on their location from a general warrant from a homicide case. And then what happened is this gentleman was next to somebody, their cell phone signature was picked up near the scene of a crime, and then they were picked up on it. So again, either way, if you want to go off grid, that's the main point of this. You want to go off grid with your phone, even if you're in town or at church or wherever, you can put your phone or your device in this bag. They have laptop bags as well. They're basically a Faraday bag, but super extreme. Marfooglenews.com/eDeck. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Let's see here. We've got Susan Donahue says hashtag Team Humanity. Thank you so much for being here tonight and every night, Susan Donahue. Just in general, thank you guys. Amy R., both of you guys. In fact, you guys are the two really top contributors of the channel for this month. So thank you. Just sending you love and light, Adam, Dex, and Foogle fam. Get prayed up, get prepped up. Thank you so much, Amy R., and thank you for being here. EMP Shield has popped by. Again, as you guys know, they actually were considerate enough to tell us about that, which I think is, again, above and beyond. They always are. Anyone who has ever dealt with them, which you'll hear from our chat, is absolutely amazing. So we really appreciate the heads up on that. Let's see here. Some of the best news on YouTube, period. Well, thank you, EMP Shield. If that's Andrew, I super appreciate you coming by. Alex G. Zeta Rex Orbis. Speaking of Lufres, nice horns, Adam. Oh. Yeah, my hair is not exactly controllable. That's all right. Let's see here. And Lori D. Trinity And Julie Brush, Fanny Allen. Doctors reporting false positives coming in 2 days after reading positive. I actually shared with you some of the more public stories about that, as far as people that never actually went got notice. So, of course, they've got a lot of problems with the systems, and a lot of people are pointing that out, including prime ministers and royalty in other countries. Let's see here. Epi Elf Dancer says it went from 100 to 40 overnight here in Omaha. That's just crazy. 100 degrees to 40. All right, let's get our next caller in, and then we're going to go over NASA is hiring private contractors to retrieve moon dust. Maybe it's part of the Moonshot program. Dex, if you want to bring in Super T-Man 2020. Again, his name is filtered, so I have to be careful with that. Super T-Man.
Hello?
2020, what's going on?
Yes, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to give a shout out to Dex. He was real professional, and I think he does a great job as screening job and all that. So thank you, Dex, for being real professional and helping me out and all that.
He's always like
but,
that.
Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a first time caller, and I just want to say that whale noise was funny. I laughed.
So I guess you.
But
wanted to talk
lady.
about.
What did you say?
So you went to Sturgis, and this is what you think about it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I've been since the end of April. I've been traveling. I'm a traveling kind of salesman. I go around the country a lot and do a lot of direct sales. And I was up in Sturgis, what I've noticed a lot is the media portrays stories about stuff they want people to focus on before they wanted. Before I went there, they started portraying, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, super spreader and all this. And now they're trying to say the 250,000 and all that. And then I was watching, hope I can say this, Fox News tonight, and the actual numbers are only like 270 that have contracted so far. And it blows my mind that the media. I drove all over Sturgis. I went to Mount Rushmore. There's a lot of people up there. It was beautiful. I put videos online and everything, and it's a really nice spot up in South Dakota and all that. There's a lot of people there, but I don't really think it was as crowded as people thought it was. I mean, I don't know. Nobody wearing masks, but I don't think nobody was like getting people's faces or nothing. So I don't know how they can make up false stories.
Well, the thing is they're saying it's the wording. They say it may have caused 250,000. I think they were very careful about saying that how many. They didn't say 250,000 attendees. They said that they have somehow linked it to that. A governor just came out. In fact, I believe it was a well-known governor just said that. I think it was from Sturgis, said that he believed that it was just completely, that they just kind of wrote it up and said, this is it.
Yeah, just a lot of lies out there. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I watched another show on YouTube tonight. I don't know. Can I say the name of the channel?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Pastor Paul Begley. I watched his show. I mean, anybody watches him, they don't watch it yet. I watched it earlier before I came to your channel, and he had Mike from around the world on there. There's a lot of stuff going on, saying about 3 days some major something might happen or something, and I don't know. But I trust them more than I do the regular media, and I trust you more than regular media because you guys aren't going to lie to us.
Well, again, Pastor Paul, and what was crazy, it's just about a month ago, Dutch Sense, myself, Paul, and James Munder were all in the same chat, in Paul's chat. It was pretty funny. If you go back about a month ago, there was a live stream he did, and all of us that were there, and he was like, it was a crazy show to have everybody all in one place talking. It was pretty nuts. But yeah, Pastor Paul, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, my mods always drop several names in the chat there. You can get his link right there in the chat over on YouTube. Or if Philly Poo or April Osborne or any of the mods over on DLive can drop that as well. Make sure to drop Super T-Man's link as well. So you went, again, we can't openly just say that they're lying when they say that, because obviously that's going against what they say is correct, right? But obviously, how did they get it so fast? That's one thing I wondered, though. How did they get those numbers so fast?
I just think it's I'm a elephant, and I just believe it's like I think it's everything that's going on. Is this whole CD thing is against my Super T-Man guy, my T-Man guy, and all that. And I just think it's really crazy how this is going on. You know, all those lies and false accusations, all that. I mean, they're really trying hard to destroy a good person. You know.
Well, it happens a lot. So. Well, Super T-Man 2020.
Right.
Do you ever travel to Washington?
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you ever travel to Washington?
Well, I'm from Yakima, Washington originally. I'm just down here in Utah right now working and trying to stay out of the smoke and all that. There's a lot of fires in eastern Washington right now and everything, and I know you know about that. But I just was wondering, do you have any? I've been doing a channel for a year, and I'm just wondering if you have any advice or whatever, because I'm not big like you right now, and I've been listening to you guys about a year and a quarter, so I'm just wondering if you have any advice. Or I don't have no cameras, I don't have no editing software, nothing. I have a laptop, I haven't started doing editing software or nothing, so I was wondering what your any advice or anything to have for me.
Super T-Man, well, we're going to love mob you for one, but also, as far as that goes, we had a Discord that we had a creators group that a lot of people actually used and made really well use of. I would just be patient because we are building a new system that is going to be under our own platform, so you won't have to worry about it getting taken down by somebody else. So again, I would just wait a little bit longer.
All right.
And then of course I helped a lot of creators in the last few years and just told them things that I wish I knew when I began. But one thing I think that you already have is consistency. Just keep putting out videos. Every video that you put out goes off into YouTube land and it does its own thing. Don't worry about cameras or any of that kind of stuff. Just go from the heart and just keep putting out stuff. It takes 1,000 videos. In fact, most experts say you have to put out 1,000 videos before you even get one scene. So you won't need that because Foogle fam's going to mob over, but I appreciate your call, and of course, keep calling and bring in, if you have anything interesting, call into the show. If you get a video of anything interesting while you travel, get that and then call in, and then the more people that like your channel, they'll come over and they'll pop over.
All right.
Well, thank you, and you have a great night. God bless you, and of course, keep calling in and keep spreading your truth. That was Super T-Man 2020. One thing, though, I should have told him is that this is filtered on the platform you're trying to make I would almost change this to T-Man, but that would just be what I would do. Again, that is a filtered word. Obviously, they're not biased or anything, but just saying. And then Gone Girl 777, thank you. And then Deja Voodoo. I love it. Deja Voodoo. Foogle fam rules. XOXOXOXO. Let's see. Cable Guy says, we're coming, Super One. That's awesome. You guys are awesome. Make sure and you can tell he's trying to do his best, and it would be lovely if you guys helped. Let's see here. Quite frankly, was awesome tonight as well. YT is stupid, says Texas Rob. Well, it's also it's an amazing platform when it works, and it's kind of sad. It's like seeing somebody that get into drugs and just go downhill. That's how I kind of feel about it. Like you're just like, oh, and then every time you hear a story about him, you're like, oh, he did what? Oh no. And someday we'll have to go to their funeral. Okay, up next, We have, of course, the Twisted Luck Truth. We've already seen that video. The massive fire at the Beirut port. We actually have kind of a story about this. But again, you guys can go and watch this via our website. You can go to marfooglenews.com. And then one last place I wanted to point out, and this was another one CJ grabbed. This is another explosion, this time in Jordan. It said a massive explosion reportedly hits outskirts of Jordanian city of Zorka. I think that's how you say it, and I apologize if I'm totally butchering that. It says we are committed to protecting personal information. Okay, I don't know what that is, but obviously it's the wrong the wrong text for it. Well, basically what happened, and we have a video of this on Twitter that you can go and follow at Marfoogle. The video of this, which CJ Blaze actually commented about, is there. I do have another story here, and it's actually related to this. So here's my opinion on this. So TikTok, I do have a strong opinion about, as far as not because it's owned by a certain country or this or that, which I do have an opinion about that as well. But if you've ever been as an adult on TikTok, it is set up to be addicting. It caters to your thoughts. It caters to what you like. And it's kind of like what YT was back in the day. If you looked up fishing videos, it would show you fishing video after fishing video after fishing video. Well, there's probably a loophole in that as well that does have an advantage to older men who like younger, if you know what I mean. I already know that that's probably going to pop out, and by then it will be over on Microsoft's hands or something. But on top of this, one thing that it is, and I'm sorry, I think it's disgusting, you see 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds dancing to songs like WAP, W-A-P. You guys can Google that if you don't know what it means, or if somebody wants to put it in chat. It's disgusting. And, you know, my 14-year-old, all of her friends do it. All of her friends, you know, they'll sit at, what do you call it? When I first saw it, I didn't know what they were doing. They were at a Krispy Kreme. And all four of them are doing this dance, like doing, you know, and somebody can turn that into an emote. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, TikTok, Dad. And I'm like, okay, what is Tic Tac? And they're like, TikTok, and they all giggled. That was the first time I saw it. I wanted to know what the hell they were doing, so I went on and got on TikTok, and I actually started one because I didn't know anything about it. And I have one video up, maybe two. And when I went there, I saw all these girls, my daughter's age and worse. They weren't just doing like this. They were doing like the car wash and doing like basically sexualized dances. And I thought it was really disgusting that this is actually on their main thing. So not like the specialized things that you get and you keep scrolling into. It's like the main thing that millions of people see. The ones that really take off are anywhere from 12 to 14 years old. They're attractive kiddos or whatever. You know, the kids that would be like models in magazines. Those are the ones that succeed. It's purely like look based. Most of them are just like, you know, kids, and they talk about stuff, and it's just like in middle school where, you know, there was the good looking kid and the dorky kids, and the good looking kids did better than the dorky kids. But then there's like a subset, and there's the dancing to music thing. And I just think I don't see how over the last year and a half that it's been growing popularity. Nobody's talked about this before. And only after EpiPen and all of this stuff happened that it's starting to open up, and the Q and everything else that's been popping out. Now people are talking about it, which brings me to my next thing. I don't talk about this kind of stuff, but I will say, as far as this goes, this is the same kind of thing, and it's normalizing something that's not normal, that's not okay, and they have an opinion about it. They say that this show called Cuties, again, is, what did they say? They say, it says on Thursday, #cancel Netflix trended on Twitter amid a new wave of calls to boycott the streaming service after a scene from the movie Cuties went viral. It says the movie about a group of 11-year-old girls who form, get this, a twerking dance group. If you don't know what twerking is, it's essentially pretending to have adult relations. I'm sorry, but that's what it has always been. I mean, it's not right. It says the movies about this group previously sparked controversy due to the sexualized poster used by Netflix to promote the video. It says now following its Netflix release, a scene from Cuties showing the girls dancing in a manner that's not appropriate for an audience of adult has led to new calls for a boycott. They even show you, they say this following clip may be distressing. I'm not going to show it. It says critics accused Netflix of publishing softcore whatever, right? I don't even like showing this on my screen, but you can briefly look. Those are 11, okay? That's not okay. And there's good reason why people are pissed off about this. And if this was your daughters, I'm sure you would be too. There's no excuse for that kind of dancing. That's not, and the way they put it, I mean, there's so much too. It was number one on trending all day. I think it might still be up there. And in fact, I saw a really good tweet. I think it was Jordan Sather that said you can hear Netflix's channel or stocks plummeting. And that's what it should do. Anything else like this would be just absolutely disgusting. In fact, there's lots of stuff here about it. What is trending, which is awesome, by the way. Here was the number one trending right here. Cancel Netflix. Trending with Cuties. Okay, so I'm glad that finally people are talking about it. The hashtag Save Our Children. But this should be like every day. We should be looking at this stuff. There's no excuse for it. They said, and the even worse, and what I wanted to show you is how they put it, how they changed the description thinking that it would make it better. And somebody put it really, really well. And I'm trying to remember who this was. It was a great way to put it. They had the previous description, and people had a problem with it. Okay, this is it. So look at this. So this is the description, the new description. Here's the old one. Okay, it says Amy, 11, becomes fascinated with a twerking dance crew. Hoping to join them, she starts to explore her femininity, defying her family's traditions. So that caused problems by itself. So this is what they changed it to. 11-year-old Amy starts to rebel against her conservative family's traditions when she becomes fascinated in a free-spirited dance crew. Free-spirited. They changed it from this to that, right? But they also used the word conservative as like a super negative. Like, oh yeah, of course she rebelled against conservative family. There's lots of problems with this. I hope that you guys go on there. I hope you join Twitter just for that. So I won't go any more deeper into it. You guys can check it out. It's just I don't see the excuse. They're saying it's a story of freedom and this. Sorry. How can you be filming that, be the director, and be sitting there setting them up, instructing them to do this, and ever have an excuse in your head that makes it okay? Those kids that are in that movie, they're ruined. So, especially with, yeah. Anyways, you guys get the point. On a positive note, we have our next caller, Mama of 6, Gone Girl again. Thank you for coming out strong tonight. Thank you. Euros Rakovic, thank you for following. And then, of course, J-Star Oregon. Haven't seen you in a couple days. I will defend Oregon through the burning. I don't know if you're one of the kind of members there. There's some badasses basically protecting it from being looted. Think about that. Everybody's leaving their homes. They had no time to grab their stuff. Who knows what's going to happen when they get back to their houses. All right, and then we've got our next caller, who is Tony, near fires in North California, and has some pictures to show us. Tony, you can be live right now. Trucker JP, I've been trying to call in for a few days. I have a video where I stood up to the school. Trucker JP, get us the link. Of course we'll play it. You've been around for a long time. Tony.
Well, hello.
What is going on?
Well, I live like 70 miles from where the fires are at in Willits, California. And our sky lit up like it was 4th of July. It just was like totally red, like a red dawn situation. And it was like that all day long out here in Northern California. And then I watched 2 days ago on Dutch Sense. He was actually pointing out a fact on there. He got on LRAD and he looked up where lasers are at. And there's a laser going from up by Bern, Oregon, all the way down to the fires down there in Central California. And every time that laser would come on, it would just...
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. It cut out. And that's exactly the video I showed over on DLive. Again, that video already has 140,000 views. When you see the line, the laser, all of a sudden, and again, can't confirm, but the fires went whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It was like they magnified at the same time.
Exactly. But I'm out here and the sky is still gray as you know what. I don't know how to even say it. I don't want to say nothing bad, but yeah, it's pretty bad out here.
Somebody said the video's gone.
2 days ago. Huh?
Somebody said that video's gone. I'm going to check just to make sure.
Yeah, the video's gone.
What?
Yep. Because he said that it was directed energy.
Oh, yeah. We've got to not say that same word. Just so you guys know, I see it here, 168,000. Maybe it's in my cache. Let's see here.
That's what it was. As soon as he said that, I mean, he got struck.
Yeah, again, we got to be careful about saying that those words together. We were actually really proud and super surprised he did that. It's pretty impressive.
Yep, exactly. I was like shocked when I heard it. When he said it, he actually said it, and I was like, holy crap. He said it. That's a Dutch, man. I sent him pummel stone from out here in California out there to where he lives, and it just, he was like tickled pink. You should have seen the look on his face. It was a trip, but damn, I got followed. No, somebody's leaving.
Well, Tony,
all right.
Thank you for calling in again. And again, we're going to link the video you're talking about and your photos.
Cool. Well, can I give a shout out to all of my Foogle family? Man, I love y'all. I love you and your new baby and all your kids. And my niece, Sandy Curry is her name. She follows you all the time. She was like, last time I called, she was like, oh my God, you called. I was like, yeah. So.
Well, hey, thank you for being here for so long.
What?
Thank you for being here so long, Tony. I appreciate you.
Oh, hey, I love you, man. I always have loved you, no matter what anybody has ever said.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. I like you too. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. All right. You have a good one.
All right, Tony. All right. You have a good night, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
You too.
Bye-bye. That was Tony. Well, yeah, that's Tony. Everybody knows Tony. Tony, thank you for calling in. Again, he's been here 3 years at least. Flawless by Christ, thank you. I appreciate your sentiments there. Devolt Sooth, Mama of 6, D27, infrared is what they said with the DEW. It does look like the video is still there. Somebody said that it was taken down. One of them probably was. It's pretty crazy that night 1 and night 2, 170. I'm very super happy to see that Dutch is growing again. I think he's gained several thousand in just a few days. So pretty awesome. I'm very happy for him. Again, you know, I did notice it seemed like he was stuck there for a minute. So I'm glad that he is back into it and people are sharing. On top of that, he has always, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's news articles that talk about people that have said in MSM news that their lives were actually saved by stuff that he has said. Like people were prepared, even got out of areas because of some of his predictions, which he's not allowed to technically make. Pretty crazy stuff. And people have put him through hell, said he was kooky and all this. A lot of the stuff that he said 5 years ago is now actual science. I don't know if you guys realize that. A lot of the stuff, antipodes and things like that, 20 years ago they said that doesn't exist. Now they do. So it's pretty rare to have somebody who's actually changed the way people think about it. That's for sure. All right, and that was great. Thank you, Tony, for calling in, and keep your eyes out. You guys are our eyes and ears, so please, if you see something crazy, get a video of it, send it to us. We'll share it with the rest of the Foogle family. We'll put it on the website. We'll make it available on our platform. J Millie RN, thank you for being our conniption fit. Native Viking, which is awesome. That's like a native Norwegian mix. Amazing. There's more too. In the next couple days, again, there's going to be tons of stuff to talk about. I have a feeling. I'll just say that I can't say much yet, but I hope that everybody keeps their head on a swivel, and I hope that everybody just makes sure to look out for each other, be positive to each other, and make sure to show love. There's no reason that we need to be pushing each other down right now. Dex, you have to agree, right?
Hey, brother. Oh, absolutely. I keep preaching this. We're so divided, and that's what they want. And what can we do to break that cycle? Doesn't mean you have to change your beliefs, but you certainly don't have to. You don't have to fall in line with the division.
Exactly. You don't have to follow the lead of others. How many minutes do we have left here until the 2-hour mark, or did we go over?
We are at. You've got about 7 minutes.
Okay, and make sure before that timer runs out, switch us over to DLive.
Okay.
Again, at 2 hours, if it goes above 2 hours, it doesn't process the video correctly. Something that has just been a pain in the butt. But in the meantime, it is now officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. It doesn't sound as cool without echo. It's where I say thank you to all the people that matter most. You. If you're in the chat, of course, we'll be hanging out. The video will continue on DLive for just a moment. Of course, right at 2 hours, it will cut from YouTube. So I'll be saying thank you to all of you.
Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry moms. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry moms. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry moms. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. Where did their brains go? Where did their brains go? They are all drinking trains. the toss there, turn Z. Gonna bring it back, drop that Fred, Jimmy the layup, and everybody go and say, Chardy, Grand Miravan, and Gone Girl, you see. Neil Mendelssohn, Anderson, gonna bring it back now. We do it like a Jilly J. Laura Griffith and Pilly Pooh, gonna do it just like they do. Where did their brains go? They are all drinking train now. I love Beagles and Paul Shaggy. Gonna bring back the no wanted bragging in the short reality and enchanted by you. Doing what the mama of 6 do. Deja vu do. Deja vu do. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mobs. 152. Got jam and mechanico. I gotta get a flawless by Christ and the Jen B. Cox and the Johnson. Gonna bring it right back to. And everybody really wanna see the Mercer 1. Gun if you fit and the Deja Vu 2. And the Pruby 2001 Shauna Hymas. Gonna bring it back now, I high-five it. On the station bar, go to the White House and say hello now. Domesticated goddess, gonna do it now. Yeah, gotta bring it right back. Where did their brains go? They are all drinking train now. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. Judge a cat mom with the one woke woman and a chardy Minnesota man in a Pullman. Going back around and they don't stop pushing, but we start pushing back. Coming on back. Where did the brains go? Where did their brains go? That chowky gal going back and strong as a gore and a Fanny Powell with the Skywalker and the J-Stone 7A. Gonna do it like you never be a lay. Noah's Ark gonna take us all to heaven. Going back, bringing our back around and bending. Just like the rules and now the strip fitting. A reward for the D-life aside. Even if you're just watching, you'll ride. Go get the app and go back in time. I wanna bring it back with my 1971 or maybe it was 1791. Unicorn forest, everybody done. Where did their brains go? They are all drinking train now. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. That's how Gigal and the dinner and the higher song. I'm gonna bring it right now. Lucky yours followers with the gun girl triple on the 7 on the mama of 6 and the tall. Drink of water in a lion's heart. I love the beagles. 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 Love the beagles. No slobs, angry mobs. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. Shauna Hymas with the Stacy Bomb. Going right back and you got that karma. Sasquatch, Northwest and everybody. Oh, not gonna do it back like a chrono. Oh, look at that, yes, I do it back like this. And if everybody was with that and the pee going back around now, just take a sippy. Chewy on the weather and the stick and Letty. Gonna bring it back like Uncle Eddie. Gonna do it like a unicorn. Going back and horn. Oh, on haunted. Hong, hong, hong. Hong, hong, hong. Grab your pitchforks and meet me outside. No slobs, angry mom. Jamie on the blight and the cunning chiffy. OXOXOXOXO. 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 OXOXO.